Otto, thank you so much for being here. I have not been impacted by a demo like I have with Speechly. I remember Colin was at Project Voice in Chattanooga, and he does the Speechly demo. I'm like falling out of my chair. And so I'm so thankful that you're here to give this demo to LinkedIn. Hello, LinkedIn. Welcome to the party. If you don't know me, my name is Ian Utilli. I'm helping co-produce the Voice Summit, where the voice tech world meets. And this is Otto, the CEO of Speechly, and his team has created something so profound that we wanted to dedicate this time just to allow Otto to not only give you a PowerPoint slide demo, but he's going to actually code right here, right now. This is legit, this is real, this is bold, this is courageous. I salute you.
Crazy. Thanks, Ian, for having me.
Absolutely.
It's going to be awesome.
Okay, take it away.
Great. Hello, everybody. My name is Otto Söderlund. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Speechly. I'm a tech entrepreneur who's been passionate about artificial intelligence for already 2 decades. Prior to founding Speechly, I founded the leading digital management consultancy boutique in the Nordics, which I grew, internationalized, and sold it off. And after my 3-year earnout, I joined my old buddy Hannes in building Speechly. So today I will actually start with a couple of slides very quickly to set the stage, and then I'm going to do the crazy thing. I'm actually going to do some live coding in a live stream. So wish me luck. So this is the Speechly team. So Speechly is a small team of industry veterans who have been building the current generation of voice technologies, namely Siri at Apple and Alexa at Amazon. Our tech team is based in Helsinki in Finland, and our commercial team is based in Chicago. Our team has very close ties to the academia, and a significant part of our tech team has been or is machine learning researchers. And everything we have built is 100% proprietary. So we have built our own speech recognition and our own natural language understanding tech stack. To set some stage, I'm going to talk to you about a concept called Reactive Voice UIs. Now, Reactive Voice UIs are a bit different than Assistant Voice UIs. Where Assistant Voice UIs or Conversational Voice UIs focus on optimizing a conversation, Reactive Voice UIs actually optimize for task completion and really solving the user's task as efficiently as possible. Assistant Voice UIs typically use voice in to the system and voice out, so giving feedback to the user, whereas Reactive Voice UIs actually use voice in and visual as the main feedback mechanism from the system back to the user. And this allows the Reactive Voice UIs to work in a very effective manner where they're actually combining information flow from the system and back to the user in real time in a full duplex mode, where the conversational UIs typically are reliant on a turn-based information flow. And where the conversational UIs really focus on building voice as an universal operating system, Reactive Voice UIs actually think about voice as a feature to be added into existing experiences. So, no more slides, let's do some demos. So, I'm first going to show you a couple of examples of Speechly in action, just for you to understand what the Reactive Voice UI is. So this is the first example. So this is an e-com store. It's a fashion store like any other fashion store. It's got departments, product categories, brands, and so on. But you can actually speak to the store. So now, while I'm speaking to the store, please notice not only how fast the transcript appears here, but also how the store reacts in real time to the user. So, here goes. Show me men's sneakers from Nike. In black. Actually in red. Make it white. And show me the cheapest ones first. Sneakers from Nike. And in size 13. Cool. So as you could see, while I was actually speaking, the website was reacting to what I was saying in real time. So it provided me with instant feedback, allowing me to continue with the very complex utterance. So here's another example. So this is a form. So this is a travel booking form, but you can actually speak to the form. Again here, notice not only how fast the transcript appears here, but also how the system interacts and responds to my speech. Book a return flight from Helsinki to New York. departing tomorrow and returning next Sunday for 2 people in business class, and show me the direct flights only. So you could see there that while I was speaking, the site was actually capturing my information in real time, allowing me to continue with this very complicated utterance. So, how do you build experiences like that? So I have now around 15 minutes time or less to actually build something like that. So here goes, let's build an experience like this. So we're going to walk through a CodePen example of a very simple website. So this website has 2 drop-downs. It has a color drop-down that has 5 values, and it has a brand drop-down that has 3 values. And it's basically a very simple website. It's got some very simple HTML here. It's got some CSS to control how it looks like. We don't need to worry about that one. And then we will be adding some JavaScript here. So to voice enable a website, you can start from the Speechly docs. So docs.speechly.com. And in here, the quick start is an excellent place to start. It provides you everything you need to add voice to your website or application. And today, what we're going to do is that we're actually going to use the Speechly ready-made UI components. So we're going to use 3 UI components on the website. So we're going to add the push-to-talk button, which is the microphone button here that controls the audio capture and streaming and all the important technical aspects of capturing the user's speech. Then we're going to use the big transcript component, which actually is the transcript component you saw on the demos. And that's quite important for the reactive voice user interfaces to actually provide the user with the ability to troubleshoot if there would be some problems in their experience. And then we're also going to add an error panel just to ensure that the user can recover from errors if there would be any. So let's get started. So the first thing you need to do, and by the way, you can find all of these instructions on the Speechly docs. So the first thing you need to do is you need to install and import the Speechly client libraries. And you do this by simply copy-pasting these snippets of JavaScript to the head part of your website. Here we go. So we added that to the head part. And then now the libraries are imported. What we do next is that we actually take the UI components into use. So we take the big transcript, we place it to the top, we take the push-to-talk button, we place it to the bottom, and then we add the error panel to the bottom if that would be needed. And in practice, we just copy-paste these ones to the body part of the HTML page. So very simply, I will just copy-paste them here. And what happens now is that, ta-da, miraculously, the Speechly push-to-talk button appeared on the website. But this is not yet connected to the Speechly API, as you can see. When I'm pushing the button, the error component became visible because we haven't connected it yet to any Speechly app ID. So what we need to do next is that we need to get a Speechly app ID. That you can do from the dashboard. So the dashboard is the place where you actually configure your application. And you can create an account for free, and it's also we also offer a free tier for non-commercial use. So feel free to go to the Speechly website and start developing there. I'm going to add a new project, Voice Summit Demo, and I'm going to create a new application, Voice Summit Demo. Right. I'm going to choose the language, and then I'm going to choose an empty configuration to start with. So I'm just removing these comments. Okay, so the first thing you need to do when configuring the Speechly is that you need to define the intents and entities needed. In this is really about filling up the forms. So let's add an intent for filling, and we had 2 entities here in the code. We had the drop-downs for color, the name is color, and brand, the name is brand here on the code. So I'll add those ones here in the configuration. So I'll add color, and I'll add brand. And in this case, we'll use the string type of entities, but Speechly supports a wide range of standard entity types. Now, the configuration of Speechly is done by the Speechly annotation language, or SAL for short. And it really works by providing simple examples of how the users might be expressing these intents and entities. So in this case, I'm going to tell the system that this is an fill intent. And let's say that I would want to say something like a red puma. So that's great. I could provide the system with a lot of these examples, saying like white Adidas and so on. But of course, it would be quite tedious to actually add all of those ones manually. So instead of manually having to create all the permutations, we can use variables. So we can very easily add here variables like color. So we can have white, black, what did we have, red, blue, maybe green we had probably. And then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to define that these are of the entity type color. And then I'm going to do a variable for brands. So we had Adidas, we had Nike, we had Puma. And I'm going to define that this is of the entity type brand. And now I'm going to replace here the static configurations with variables. And now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to press deploy. So now what happens is that our system is teaching machine learning models for intent tagging and entity tagging. And in addition to that one, it is also adapting our speech recognition models. So I already mentioned in the beginning that we have built all of our technology from scratch by ourselves. And the benefit of that one is that we are actually able to leverage the domain knowledge codified in the configuration to adapt our speech recognition models so that it can work extremely well and accurate in domain-specific tasks. So instead of taking an off-the-shelf model that uses a standard speech recognition to power all different kinds of use cases, we actually train the speech recognizer and adapt it to the domain specificness using the domain knowledge in the configuration. And if you're interested in learning more about the speech adaptation technology, you can find our interspeech paper from our website. So just go to speechly.com and scroll a bit down, and you can find here our interspeech paper that explains how our adaptation technology works. So let's see if the model has been trained. Yes, it has trained. Typically, a model of this size typically takes around 1 to 2 minutes to train. So now that it's trained, we can test it. So I'll use the preview to try it out. So let me try something like red Puma. Yep, it recognized the entities and the colors and the brands. White Adidas. Yep, it works. One of the benefits of the Speechly machine learning based system is that the system is actually able to generalize. So even though we haven't trained it with all the possible colors and brands, it can actually generalize those ones. So I could say something like pink Tommy. And even though the system was never trained with this utterance, it was able to recognize that it was a color and it was a brand. So let's take this into use. So I will copy paste the app ID from the preview view, and I'll take it back to the code pen. So I'll replace from the push to talk button. I'll replace here the app ID with the new one. So now what we did now is that we connected the button to the Speechly backend. So what that means is that we now have a speech recognizer that is supporting this website. But it does not yet support the interactions with the form components on the website. So let's fix that. So to do that, we actually need to add some JavaScript. So we go to the Speechly docs. We go to the next section in the getting started, and we copy paste the snippet of JavaScript to the web page. And this time we're going to do a minor changes here to this one. So what I'm going to do is that I'm actually going to add here a quick a short iterator that goes through all the entities that the Speechly API returns. So the Speechly API is a real-time streaming platform. So that means that while the user is speaking, the audio is streamed to the backend, and as soon as the Speechly API recognizes words, intents, or entities, it will immediately call a callback function back to the client application to provide that information to the client application. So what we're going to do here now is that we are going to define that every time there is an entity of the name of color being returned by the Speechly API, its value is actually updated as the value of this drop-down box. And we do it for all the different entity types, and we had defined to color and brand. So it's as simple as this. So let's see if it works. Red Puma. Woo! White Adidas. White Adidas. So you could see there also the benefit of the transcript component, because I could actually see that the system didn't pick up my brand name correctly, and I was able to recover from the error instantly. And of course, you can build more complicated configurations. This was very simple. So let's say that we would like to support something like white sneakers from Adidas. Well, it's not working yet. So we can actually make it work by updating the configuration very slightly. We'll just add here another utterance here, sneakers by. Let's do it that way, and we'll redeploy the model. And again, now the system, what it's doing, it's retraining the intent and entity taggers, and then also adapting the system to this configuration. And I'm going to show you now what kind of training examples are generated by these couple of lines of cell configuration. So in here, you can see that it will generate a pretty substantial amount of training examples. Pretty substantial, as it's taking a while here. So, refetching here. So you can see here that these couple of lines of SAL script actually generated huge amount of different variation of these utterances. And in this case, you can see that there was this sneakers by variations added to the configuration, and there's plenty of different variables. And really the true power of this is when you integrate this with your database, so you can leverage existing product catalogs, people catalogs, whatever information you need automatically using our command line interface and our APIs, and you can retrain the models every time there's new products added or new people or places or whatever. So now let's wait a few more minutes or seconds actually for the training to get ready. So it should be ready in like 10 seconds or something like that. And what happens is that we don't actually need to update anything on the code, because we did the change on the back end. So that means that as soon as it has trained, which I hope that it would be done in a few seconds, what we can do then is that we can just very instantly see how that behavior changes here on the website. So are we trained yet? Yes, now it's trained, so excellent. So we can go here. I'm just going to refresh the page by actually adding just a one empty line here. So it refreshes here, and now we can see that the new configuration is automatically supported by the client application. So I could say something like red sneakers by Puma. And it still works also supporting white Adidas. So that's how easy it is to create voice-enabled web applications using Speechly. So these were the examples of Reactive Voice UIs. And if we think of this as the voice community, the opportunity to add voice as a feature to every single website and every single application out there is actually far bigger opportunity than actually creating new conversational channels. And this is what we are very bullish for at Speechly, and this is what we want to enable. We really want to enable the voice community to take over all the websites and all the applications and build a voice-enabled future, making it easier for people to communicate with voice, with technology. So thank you from my side for watching, and if you want to find more information, please go to www.speechly.com, follow us in the social media, and just get started. Happy hacking. Thanks.
That was amazing. Can we all give Otto a hand? I mean, to do this that you just did live and actually code and do this type of demo, thank you for taking that risk. I think anybody that's watching live or sees the archive is thankful for it as we are. And so thanks for being part of this. We're happy that you did this. And for all of you on LinkedIn, we'll be back again soon with another, this next thing's gonna be actually an interview. Not a demo, but an interview. So we'll be back in a moment with that.